All right, and we're live as far as I can tell. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. So today is I don't even know what day today. Yeah, today is Wednesday, right? So, and today I'd like to continue working on something that we started to work on one of the previous days, right? So the To-Do app in Rust, and it was quite interesting for me. So I'm using this To-Do app development as an opportunity to actually, research a little bit on how to do immediate UIs in Rust. Right, not immediate Rust, like immediate terminal UIs. It has nothing to do with Rust, to be fair. Like this kind of stuff can be done in literally in any language, and it's just like Rust is just like I'm just using Rust for this one. Doesn't matter. So you can find the previous episode of this series in here. So it's gonna be previous episode. Right, something like this, and the source code can be found in here. Right, so this is gonna be the source code, where is gonna be like this. So did I actually put the link correctly? Okay, so I felt for a second that I removed a character out of the end of this thing. So hello everyone, welcome to the stream. How are you guys doing? So yeah, let's continue. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. So maybe we also want to fetch the latest changes just in case. I don't think I introduced any changes today. So looks good to me. So I'm gonna do TeamUX, and I'm gonna cd forcing cd to this folder. Let's do cargo build. Right, so it's already built. So the application right now looks like this, right? So you have a bunch of to-dos, and you can basically mark them as done, and they're going to be removed from the list. But they're not really removed from the list; they are moved to a list of done things, and you can switch between done and to-do with tab, right? As you can see now, you are in a done tab, and you can switch back, and from the done you can actually move things back to this list, right? And if you quit, it actually persists the state of this entire thing. So if you open it again, so yeah, it will still have the state as you as it was when you left the application. And the format of the file where it persists its own state is actually quite simple. It's just literally that. So yeah, I want you to, like, the UI right now is actually kind of meh, right? So I want to be able to actually see what needs to be done and what is already done, right? So I want to kind of like have a two-panel UI where if I press enter on the left tab, it will left panel, it will move it to the right panel, and if I'm on the right panel, it will move it back. So and I think I even created the issue for that, and yeah, two panel instead of tabs. So I think this is going to be the first thing that we're going to be working on today: two panels instead of tabs. So what file you save it? It's a text file. It's just like literally 9070 technology that we had for 15 years. So let me start Emacs from within the development environment. So I think this is the description, right? And let me see what we've got. This one is actually rather interesting because to be able to draw things into panels, we need to be able to have the layouting system. A similar layouting system that I actually put in all of my immediate UIs. So for instance, the recent immediate UI that I actually developed, I developed it for my game. Right, so something, right, do I even have an executable for that? I don't have an executable. Oh, this is because it's a wrong folder. I'm sorry. It's a something rewrite. Right, so, and this is how it looks like. So it's like actually not final look and feel, it's just technological demo. And here is the immediate UI that I actually developed. And as you can see, there is layouting in here. So there's vertical layouting and horizontal layouting, and you can have these kind of sort of grids. And I want to have a similar system, but for the terminal UIs. And by the way, I developed this entire stuff on the stream as well. You can find the recording also on the Tsoding Daily channel. So let me actually go there. Tsoding Daily. So I'm gonna actually give you this thing. So I think, well, there's 2 episodes in here, but I'm gonna actually give the link to the previous one in here. Right, so it's gonna be description. So immediate UI development stream. Right, so something like this. Immediate UI means it renders in loop regardless of event. Immediate UI is something like IMGUI. If you never heard about IMGUI, I recommend you to check it out. It's like basically like a canonical example of immediate UI. To be fair, I don't know, I'm kind of conflicted. I don't think the immediate UI has to be a library. Right. I think immediate UI is more of an approach than a library that you can just depend on, or you can install via npm install or something like that. It's more of like a general approach, and wrapping it into a general purpose library kind of defeats the whole purpose. But the immediate UI usually looks like this, right? You begin the rendering of the UI, then you begin a menu bar, and then you begin a specific menu and then items, and it basically rendered immediately, as an opposite of first preparing the UI tree, right, and then giving that tree to event loop, and then waiting for the callbacks. So that's basically what it means. I think the better explanation would be the Casey Muratori talk on immediate UIs that he gave in 2005. So I always leave the link to this talk in here. We actually watched this talk also on the stream at some point, so check it out. So I think I'm gonna actually put the links in the description as well. So IMGUI, so this is basically a canonical example of IMGUI, and the Casey Muratori talk. Alright, so hello Casey. Immediate UI. I wish I could easily select this kind of stuff, but I just can't do that. Alright, so 2005, and it's gonna be all in the description. Alright, so that's basically what it means. So, and usually the layouting system that I develop for my immediate UIs is kind of similar to how Qt handles the layouting system. I'm kind of probably biased because I worked with Qt a lot. So yeah, I'm gonna actually demonstrate it one more time. Demonstrate it one more time. Okay. So hello, Chorus94. Hello. How are you guys doing? So essentially you have 2 boxes. Let me actually switch this stuff here. So first one is a horizontal box, which means that whatever you put in that box, right, whatever you put in that box is going to be aligned horizontally, right? So something like this. This is your horizontal box, and if you have several of these things, boom. Maybe I'm gonna actually not create too many elements, because then I'll have to edit too much. And boom, it's gonna be like that, like that, like that, like that. Right. So this is the horizontal box. Then we're gonna have something like a vertical box. Right, there we go. Here's your vertical box, and whatever you put into a vertical box is going to be aligned. Guess how? It's going to be aligned vertically. Maybe it's a little bit overkill. Maybe I should actually get out of this like Qt mindset. But so far it's working okay-ish. so I have no reason to get rid of it. So in that way you can create more complicated UIs, right? So for instance, you can have a top level horizontal box, right? Top level horizontal box that looks like this. Then inside of this thing you can have two elements that look like that. And these two elements are going to be vertical boxes, right? So, and inside of those vertical boxes, you're going to have other elements, right? Something like this. Drawing is hard. It's going to be something like that. Maybe here you're going to have two of them, right? So to actually simplify, like reduce the amount of time that it's needed to draw this entire stuff. There we go. So you can have like complicated stuff and whatnot. And here's precisely what we want to do right now. By the way, we want to have two panels, right? To create two panels, we need a horizontal box, top level horizontal box with two vertical boxes, and we're gonna put all of the elements in those vertical boxes, right? So, and I kind of like this system because it's rather flexible and pretty quick, but it's like, I don't know, some of the things are not easy to do with this kind of system. So, but for now I think it's gonna be good because as already said, I want to have two panels in there, right? So that's gonna be basically the idea. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Hello, Orphan of Cthulhu. Hello, hello. All right. So let me see. We need to introduce again. We are distinguishing between vertical and horizontal boxes, right? So that means we need some sort of like box kind, right? So it's going to be box kind maybe, and this one is going to be vertical and horizontal. There we go. So here's our box kind. And so there's like virus actually kind of getting in my way. And let's also introduce a structure that represents the box itself, right? So, and the box is going to keep track of its own kind. And we also need to know where the box starts, right? So we need to know its position, right? And we need to know its size. So it's going to be some sort of like a rectangle thingy, right? So so maybe we need to introduce like a point, right? If you know what I mean, or maybe cell. So it's going to be structure, cell, and it's going to be something like row usize, and then column usize. But to be fair, one of the things that ncurses accepts in MV, if I remember correctly, so docs.rs. Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Ncurses. Maybe I should use create so it's just easier to find documentation. Maybe I can just open documentation locally. Let's open documentation locally. So you're supposed to be doing something like cargo doc open. Is it a single doc? Yeah, it is. It's a single doc. Force and CD. Oh, so it needs to first document everything, and only then it will be able to open it. Okay, so and then it's finished. All right. So where is ncurses? All right, so let me go in here. So this is going to be MV, and MV accepts I32. Right, so that means it can be negative. So since cell is going to be the source of data for the move, right, I think it may only make sense to actually make it I32. Right, I think it makes sense to make it I32. And so cell is already taken, right? Cell is already taken. Point, it's not really a point, it's more of a vector. Okay, so this is a vector 2D. Maybe it could be like point, but yeah, it should be fine. So this is the position, so it's a vector 2, and the size of the entire box is going to be also vector 2. Do we need anything else? Do we need anything else to keep track of the box? I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. So let's have a couple of functions that we can implement. I suppose the way I want to construct the box, I want to construct it by providing its kind and its position. Its size, usually not known yet unless you pushed a special widgets in there, so we're not going to provide the size then. So implement box, and we're going to have new, and this thing is going to accept kind, box kind, right, and the original position here, vec2, and it's going to return self, essentially. So also we need to have a way to construct vector, I suppose. I'm still thinking, would it be better to actually have it like this, but unfortunately you cannot have like named tuples in here. Whatever. Let's create implementation for vector, why not? Vec2, fn new, row i32, call i32, and it's going to be self, and in self you just return row and column. So, hey Tsoding, would you consider alignment, or will it always on top vertical left horizontal? I don't know yet, because I haven't finished implementing things. You guys don't understand. Software development is a constant gathering of information. You do things not because you know what you're doing. You do things precisely because you don't know what you're doing, so you start doing it and you hit problems and gather information and understand what you need to do. So thinking that you have to know what you're doing ahead is a wrong mindset. It's a wrong mindset, and this is not how software development is done. No. You basically gather information and develop things simultaneously. Answer to a question. I have no idea. I have no information if I need alignment. I have no information if I need to keep things on. I have no idea. I haven't implemented anything yet. So it's an incorrect question. It's an incorrect question. All right. So, should we have a default? I think we should also have a default in here. Derive. So, it's going to be kind. Size, and I suppose size is going to be something like this, right? Vec2, new. I wonder, like, maybe in this particular case I can just do 0, 0. Yeah, so I'll just keep it as 0, 0, but I think, yeah, you can just do it like that. Okay, cool. What the fuck am I doing? So I should have actually done something like this. Isn't this CD? Oh fuck, of course. Rust like took way too many useful names for whatever reason. Okay, so we'll have to rename this entire shit, of course. It's just like, yeah, so they went basically through a frequency in the English alphabet, and they took the most frequent words and they actually, you know, put them in a standard library so you can use them. Nice. Okay. Box layout. Alright, so this has to be called layout then. So we have layout kind, and let me see what we can have in here. So row is unused and shit ton of warning because, yeah, sure. now I need to have a stack, because what we're doing in here as we so the way we're going to be using this layout, by the way, we're going to have a couple of special functions, begin layout and end layout. So something like this. Begin layout, you're going to accept immutable self, and I suppose kind, layout kind. Layout kind. And then you're gonna have something like end layout, right? Itself to do. All right. So, and how would you develop something like this, right? How would you develop something like this? Well, let's create something like that. Fn main. Right, first of all, you would have a UI. Right, so it's you're gonna create a default one. And you begin layout, and the layout you create is essentially layout kind horizontal one. Right, at the top level you have a horizontal one. And then inside of this thing, you're gonna have two vertical ones, right? UI begin layout. Layout kind vert, and let's actually put this kind of stuff in here, like this. So you have a top level horizontal one, and you have two internal vertical ones. And inside the vertical ones, maybe you're gonna have some sort of like a loop for I in 0 to 5, right? Where you're gonna be actually creating labels. Do we have a label? Yeah. Well, we do have a label. Right, like this, and I'm gonna put it here. So self is not needed anywhere, and text is gonna be essentially format like that. Label like this. And the pair, we're gonna do something like a regular pair, right? So, and yeah, there we go. So this is how it's supposed to be used, right? And as you can see, the structure of the code reflects how it's going to look like. And what you're essentially doing in here, you are traversing the UI tree, but the UI tree that which doesn't exist at all, right? So first you go into the root, then into this subchild, and then into this subchild. Then by ending the layout, you remove back and go into the next sibling subchild, and so on and so forth. So you kind of like traversing a tree, but without the recursion. You see what I mean? You're like explicitly traversing tree in a like a flat manner, right? If you had like a tree looking like this, right? That's actually too many elements, but I mean these elements are gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you would just flatten it out, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you will just iterate only the array of this node. That's basically what we're doing. But we also need to know how deep we are in the hierarchy. So, and because of that, we need to maintain this stack of the layouts. Usually you don't have to maintain that stack if you're traversing things recursively, right? Because you're essentially using the call stack. Right, so that's why a lot of recursive algorithms, they are so concise and don't require any additional structures, because you are using a data structure implicitly. Right, you implicitly using the call stack as a data structure. So in here, since we don't have a recursion, we have to use a stack explicitly. Right, so, and because of that, we need to introduce the stack of layouts. So hello Gaylolo, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? So here we're gonna have like a layouts vector of layouts. There we go. Vector of layouts. And when I'm beginning the layout, that's a very interesting. So when I'm beginning the rendering at all, I provide the position at which I want to start the rendering, right? So I'm providing the position at which I want to start. So what I'm thinking is that I can collapse these things into a single vector too, right? And essentially, we don't need to keep track of the row and column anymore, right? We just need to push additional layout in here. So it's going to be layouts push, layouts push, and what we're pushing in here is the layout like this, kind, layout kind. So the default one is going to be horizontal, I suppose. Let's keep it horizontal. Right, so, and so then I'm gonna have a position, so I can provide a position in here, and initial size is going to be essentially empty, right? So, let's just use new. I don't know. I'm in a mood to use new in here. I was in the mood of using this thing here, but I decided to use this thing here. I don't know, for the consistency, let's use it everywhere. Doesn't matter. Okay. So another interesting thing, I assume that the stack is empty in here. So does it even have empty? I wonder. So vec2, can I have a vec2 in here? So that means I need to do something like rust docs. Create std. Vec2. Oh, there is empty. Okay. So, does it have is non-empty? Is not empty? Some languages do. Is empty. Okay, so this thing is not empty. That's what basically we want to assert in here. All right. So does it even compile? Let's see. Okay. So I need to remove this test example. I don't think it's needed anymore. So what do we have in here? Layouts. This is because we need to do self, and this is layouts, of course. Self layouts, of course. Okay, so when I'm rendering the okay, so one of the important things for the layout is basically calculate the position where you can place a new widget, right? So let's create a special function which gives you available position. So it's going to accept self, but it's going to return vector2. Right, and essentially it actually very much depends on the kind of the layout, right? So layout kind, can I just do something like use layout kind, like all of this out of that, and then just do something like vert to do and horse, right? So something like horse. All right, so where is my drawing stuff? So if you have horizontal layout, right? A horizontal one. We actually started with the vertical, but whatever, horizontal. That means you can add a new widget in here, right? You can add a new widget in here. If you have a vertical one, you have to add it in here. All right, so let's quickly implement that. So, but interestingly enough, that means I need to have some arithmetic operations on vectors because it's kind of inconvenient to do some of the things. So let's actually see what we can do. I suppose we'll need to implement a couple of traits and whatnot to make it actually work. So let me see. We need to have add trait, right? So it's gonna be So let's implement add for the vector. Because we want to have these vector operations. Implement, I think it's like implement add for vector2, right? And I suppose the output for this thing is going to be vector2, right? And public function add self and right hand side. Right hand side has to be all right. self output. So the way it's going to be done, we're essentially constructing a new self, where row is self row plus RHS row, right? And here we'll have to replace rows with columns, right? So here's a row and a column. Cool. So let me see if this entire thing compiles. Though the Rust reports errors in a really weird order. Sometimes, yeah, you may have an error in the code, but it's going to be reported like way after you fixed other errors, because you know Rust has to be like that. So use std ops add. So that's what we want to have in here. So what else do we have in here? Semicolon. Alright, do we have anything else? RHS. I suppose I need to specify. Yeah. Let's just do vector 2. Okay, so I'm not gonna try to be fancy or smart. It's just gonna keep it like that. Right, whatever. If it's gonna work, it doesn't matter. Okay, cool. So I can add vectors now, and I need to multiply them. So let me see. Impl multiplication for vector 2. Type output vector 2. It's literally the same thing, by the way. It is literally the same thing. It's just like you have a different name in here. And you have a different operation, right? So you literally have a different operation. So, and that way it should work, I suppose. I'm still not sure if I have to go with the row column situation or X and Y. You know, let's go with X and Y. Why not? So it's gonna be X and Y. So in here, because of that, this is gonna be a row X, column Y. So row X, column Y. So X and Y, X and Y. So here's the position, and everything looks okay. Okay, back to this thing. So if you are here, so here's your original position, and you are horizontal layout, you need to find this position in here. So finding this position is relatively easy, right? So you need to take self position and add size, but on top of that you need to multiply this entire thing like that. So you need to cancel out y, right? That means you need to put 1 and 0 in here. There we go. So that way you instantly find this point in here, because the y was cancelled out. So, and then we're gonna have another thing in here. So now we have a vertical one. So this is not mult, it's gonna be mul. Looks good to me. So this has to be called mul. Alright, so I think I implemented this stuff. So now we need to start, you know, getting the information into MV. So when I'm, so essentially now, before trying to render anything that requires a position, we need to query the position from the layout stack, right? So we need to get the layout at the top of the layout stack and ask it the available position in there. So yeah, let's see how we can do that. So we go to the self layouts, and we get the last. And as far as I know, last actually returns you option, right? Because it may not have something. So we can simply unwrap it. So essentially, if you hit this situation when the layout stack is empty, that means you're trying to render the label outside of the layout. So maybe we're gonna put something like expect. Trying to render layout label outside of any layout, right? So that's basically what happened in here. So and in here, I might as well actually do something like you know, the layout, and I wonder if it returns, if the last returns the reference. I really wanted to return the reference because I don't want to copy anything, right? And I also want it to be modifiable. Yeah, it needs to be modifiable. So I suppose there should be something like last mute. Can you have last? So yeah, where's last mute? So wait, I didn't click on that. I didn't click on that. Oh my god, it's so slow. As mute. That's really strange. Why can't I have last? Wait. Am I crazy? Vector. I think I remember quite vividly there was last. Where is it? Was it in a slice? I think, oh okay, I think it was in a slice. Okay, so yeah, this is what I don't like about Rust, is that like the functions are all over the place. You can never know where things are. Alright, so last, maybe there's also last mutable, right? So yeah. Okay, so and I wonder if I can quite easily just take last mutable, right? And the reason I wanted to see if it's okay, if it's a reference. All right, that's the only thing I cared about. All right, so in here I'll need to get the available position, right? So this is going to be position layout available position, right? Layout available position, and this way I don't even have to do it like that. It's going to be y and it's going to be x. There we go. So, and here we're updating the row, but since we have a layouting system, we don't have to do that. We just need to tell the current layout that there is a new widget in there. So let me see. It's going to struct layout. So this is available position, and we need a function that allows you to add a new widget, right? So it's going to accept it as a mutable one. And it's also going to accept the size, so it's going to be vector2. So right now it is not implemented. Right, so let's go back, and in here it's going to be layout add widget, and we don't really know precisely the size. We don't really know precisely the size. We know the height, which is a single character. But the size kind of needs to be consistent, and I'm thinking that maybe we're gonna supply the width with the function call, right? So let's do something like this. So I could use the width as the text, but then the layouting is gonna be, wait, oh, it won't. Yeah, for now I think I can use text as width, but then later I'll have to fix it into something. Yeah. Anyway, so I need to do it like that. Vector2, it's gonna be new. The height is 1. I know that for a fact, but width is gonna be text len. There we go. So that's basically what I wanted to do in here. Right, that's basically what I wanted to do. And let's try to recompile this entire stuff. So text len, this is i32, it's gonna be i32. And yeah, UI begin also needs vector2 new, right? Vector2 new, and all right, so there's that. There's shit ton of useless warnings that don't solve anyone's problems. Move occurs. Okay, so that's quite important. Vector should be copyable, right? So we need to do derive, copy, and clone. All right. Apply to structs. Okay, so struct. Okay. Copy. Clone. Okay, so everything seems to be compiling. Perfect. Everything seems to be compiling. So the thing I need to do now, right, I need to be able to update the layout according to the size of the new widget, right? So essentially, if you want to add a new widget, right, so like this, here's your new widget. That means the size of the layout has to be extended like so, right? It has to be extended like so. Then if you add a new widget that looks like this, right? Actually, let's actually grab a different color, right? So which is a little bit like taller like that. That means your layout cell has to be extended like this, right? To accommodate all of this stuff. Right, and it's going to be slightly different depending on the orientation of the layout. If it's horizontal, it has to be done like that, but if it's vertical, it's the other way around. Right, so if it's horizontal, you basically append the size of the widget, but in terms of Y, you basically find the maximum. On the vertical layout, you swap that logic. Right, so that's basically the difference. So as you append more and more widget, the layout cell expands and expands and expands to accommodate all of the widgets that what you want to put in there. So let's quickly do that. And again, it all depends on the kind of layout. So we'll have to do this switch case in here as well. So it's going to be match self kind. Right, it's going to be horizontal one to do, and the vertical one. Right, there we go. Hidden. So in terms of horizontal, so self size x, right? Self size x has to be plus size x, right? But self size y has to be a maximum between the size y itself. What the hell am I doing? Oh yeah, and this size. Yeah, there we go. So that's basically the logic here, if I understand correctly. Hopefully I do. The requested size, well, you cannot request size. You request position. Oh, maybe that's not what you mean. Is larger than the sum of sizes of the content. It leaves space, but if it's smaller than the concept, then it expands to fit. I don't understand the question. The sum of sizes of the content. The sum of sizes of the content depends on orientation. It leaves space, but if you smaller than its content, then expands to fit. I don't understand what you mean. Like it's kind of like really, really vague. You can interpret your words in so many different ways. I don't understand the question. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Okay, let's continue. So we actually got disconnected, but luckily, I'm still recording the stream, so it doesn't really matter. So, and this thing, what I need to do in here, so I need to basically reverse this logic, right? So it's going to be self size x, but then I'll have to do something like CMP max self size x, and for the y, it has to be size y plus size y. So, speaking of the question, I really don't understand it because I'm currently thinking how to implement this kind of stuff, but basically you have a box that just expands as you push elements into it. That's it. It's as simple as that, as I explained it here. You have a box, you push things into it, it expands to accommodate all of the things. That's it. There's nothing for me much to say. Alright, so let's continue. So let me see. So let's see if it compiles now. So we don't have a CMP, so I think I need to actually do something like this. CMP. Yeah, I'm gonna just import CMP. All right. Do I have any to-dos left? Okay, so when I begin the layout, right, I also need to request the position where I can place that layout. It's also very important. So let's quickly do that. So maybe I'm gonna do something like let layout equal to self layouts last, and I need to expect can't create a layout outside of UI begin and UI end. Hi, what do you recommend for a 10 years old programming Arduino and 3D printing a humanoid robot? Appreciate your privilege, because when I was 10 years old, I didn't have a computer. And certainly I didn't have Arduino and 3D printing things. And to be fair, I still cannot afford Arduino and 3D printer. So the only thing I can suggest for a 10-year-old programming Arduino and 3D printing, appreciate your privilege. So you're extremely, extremely lucky, and I'm super happy for you. And good luck with your endeavors. Hey Toding, how do you rename a function in a project globally using Emacs and not having LSP enable? I just change its name and let the compiler tell me where I need to change the name of the function, and I just go through all these places and change it. It actually works without Emacs. You can do the same thing in Vim. You can do the same thing in Sublime. You can do the same thing in VS Code. You can do the same thing in ED, in the standard text editor. This approach works in any text editor at any point of the human history. So this approach will likely to work in 30 years when your favorite text editor is not supported anymore or doesn't even exist. So that's what I use. I use approaches that last forever. Anyways, please pause that on Programming Circle chat. Cheers, by the way. So let's continue. How do you rename it in JS? You just don't use JS, I guess. That's the easiest way to do that. What if we don't have statically compiled languages anymore in 30 years? In 30 years, they're gonna be 60. So hopefully by then I'm not gonna be programming anymore. So that's my hope, right? That's at least my hope. All right. So here's the layout, and let me see, it's gonna be layout. I need to grab the available position, and it's gonna be something like that. It's gonna be pose, and there we go. So after that, I need to do self layout push layout like this. I might as well actually do something like this. Kind position. So in the size, the initial size I think is going to be vec2 new. I'm pretty sure I have like a constructor for layout that basically sets size to 0, 0, right? So maybe I don't need to do this kind of stuff, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. Wow. I'm sorry. So layouts. Available pose. Okay. So, and then it's gonna be save layout pop, and there we go. I guess that's it, right? So, is it possible for a pop to tell me that I'm doing something wrong? Exactly. Can pop tell me that oh, okay, it can actually. It can tell me that you did fucky wacky, oopsie dipsy. So that means I can do something like expect can't I don't know, layout stack underflow. That's basically what happened in here, right? Layout stack underflow. It's the most useless error message that you can give to the user. Layout stack underflow. So maybe I can give it something like better, like unbalanced UI begin layout and UI end layout calls. A little bit better, I think. I think now it's a little bit better. Okay, so do you compile? Do you still compile? So we have vert, which is never constructed. We have any other to-dos? I think we're done with to-dos. That's pretty cool, I think. So let's try to use this entire shit. Interestingly enough, because we introduced layouts, I think we don't really need such thing as begin list and end list and list elements, because this can be replaced by the layouts, I think. So let me see. So we have begin list, and we also keep track of the ID. And yeah, you don't need any of this shit. Like UI is literally just that, right? So begin list, we don't need that, and yeah. So list element, and when you're doing list element, you're just doing the label, right? Yeah, you're just fucking doing the label. It's that simple. You don't need any. Oh my god, I can simplify this shit. Yes. And I almost forgot that by the end, you should pop out the thing, right? You should pop out the thing. So, and let's do it like this. Unbalanced UI begin end calls. Right, that's basically what's going on in here. Alrighty. So now I begin layout. Right. So what we're doing here. Wait a second. By default, begin starts the horizontal one, right? So I think it starts the horizontal one. I think it should start vertical one. So this is going to be the default thing. I think it should start the vertical one. That way, I don't even need any of this stuff. So I can have UI element. So this one is going to be label. Label. Here is the format. And the index is essentially if index is equal to do current, right? I'm using the highlighted pair, otherwise I'm using a regular pair. There we go. So that's the thing. And after that, let me see. Not needed. Not needed. If index equal done current, highlighted pair, else regular pair. There we go. What's up, Hot Support? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Really glad to see you. So end layout, this stuff is unused, which is kind of strange. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool, Right, so nothing is literally used in here. What is it do? Hello, hello. Okay, so I introduced the layouting system, but I didn't like change the functionality of the application. So we need to see if this entire thing still works as it used to work, right? And it doesn't. I'm super happy. So self layout is empty. Okay, so it actually asserted. I expect it to be empty. I rather expect it to be empty. Yes, that's one of the things I want to do. Oh, by the way, speaking of, on the previous stream, somebody said like that developing Encourse's application is hard because they always mess up your terminal. Right, look, my terminal is completely messed up. And what I suggested that if you get into this state, blindly type reset. I'm blindly typing reset. And my terminal is back. You don't need to restart anything, you don't need to do anything. If you cannot see what is going on, just blindly type reset. It will probably work. I never encountered a situation when my terminal is so bad that I cannot even, blindly type reset. So, yeah, here's the trick for you. You're welcome. $5. I'm joking. Oh. All right. Okay, let's give it a try. So I think I already fixed everything, right? So I fixed the logic in assert, and I'm gonna do cargo run. And okay, so I have to specify the file, and it still works. And I can still tap between the tabs, and then I can press enter, and it still works as it's supposed to work. Yes. Yesu, kawai desu. All right. So, and that's how much code it took to introduce layouting. But now, why the hell did we introduce all of that? Why the hell did we introduce all of that? Well, we introduced all of that so it is possible to actually take these two tabs, right, and render them alongside. So first one tab and then the next one. That's what we're trying to do. How can we do that? Well, so this entire thing starts vertically. You know, sometimes I want to start vertically, sometimes I want to start horizontally. So maybe I'm going to actually update this thing to accept the kind as well. So it's going to be kind, layout kind, right? And it's going to be something like this. Yeah, there we go. So let's go to the compilation errors. Aguduk. Did I say hi to you? I don't remember, but hello anyway. Layouts kind, and this one has to be horizontal, right? So we're starting horizontally, and now regardless of the tab, we're gonna render both of these things. A good duke. Okay. So, and we're gonna remove this kind of stuff. I'm not sure. You know, I'm gonna actually have it like this. Right, so it's gonna be to do. Then this one is gonna be done. Hello, John. Hello. Yes. So you see, we start the root horizontal layout. This is a root horizontal layout. Now we're gonna have a layout for the left panel, right? UI begin layout. Oh, this song actually rocks. I love it. This style of sucks sounds like something from Too Many Zoos. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like literally this is how Too Many Zoos sounds like. Too Many Zoos. I think this is how we spell it. I forgot. Yeah, really recommend to check out this band. So it actually sounds like them. All right, so layout kind, and this one is gonna be something like, it has to be vertical one, right? So this is the vertical one. You know what else is bloat? Yama. I'm sorry. Let's continue. So this is the vertical one and another one. Begin layout. Layout kind. So this is basically what I want to have in here, right? Might as well put like columns in here. Layout kind. Alrighty, so the moment of truth. The moment of truth. It's not really the moment of truth. So right now we have a weird logic that, yeah, so we need to separate this kind of stuff. So if the current tab is to do, this thing has to be highlighted. If not, that thing needs to be highlighted. Okay, so we're highlighting only if the index is equal to that and tab is equal to status to do. Only then we're highlighting this entire stuff. Only then. And in here we're highlighting this entire stuff if the index actually fits and the tab is equal to status done, I think. Right. So that way we'll have to have a simple focus system that focuses between the tabs, between the panels, depending on yeah, when you press tab. Okay, so let me see if it's gonna work or not. And of course, status apparently is not comparable. Oh shit. I'm sorry. Thank you, an anonymous, for gifting 8 tier 1 subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And everyone who got the sub, welcome to our epic Thrust Club. Okay, so why can't I compare tab? Is that because status to do is not comparable? That's probably why. So does it say that? Yeah, I need to partial equality. Rust people are fighting for partial. Okay, whatever. Partial equality. All right. It's not applied to status. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, so it has to be status. Yeah, partial equality. It's kind of cold in here. Weather Novosibirsk. Oh, the bot is dead. So, does anyone know the weather in Novosibirsk? Please tell me. The internet knows Novosibirsk. Oh shit, I actually don't want to Google this kind of shit right now. In this setup. Novosibirsk weather. Plus 16. Should be fine. Yeah, plus 16. Okay, so it's alright. It's getting actually warmer, so it's getting warmer. Okay. Surprisingly enough, like we don't have IDs. We don't really keep track of the IDs. And we never use this new thingy, so maybe I'm never gonna actually provide it in here. Git worm. Yeah. Okay, so now the moment of truth. When I start the application, we should have 2 panels, right? Left panels with to-dos and right panels with dones. They might be scuffed, okay? They might be scuffed, but they should be very distinct. Like, it should be visible that, you know, they are 2 panels. Okay, let's give it a try. Oh, yeah, of course I need to provide the to-do. Nope, it didn't work. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's try to troubleshoot that. Not first try. I'm sorry. Apparently I'm not a god cooler. So here is the position. Oh, I see. So x is that, then height is 1. That is correct. Then we use y and x like this, and then we have an available position. So maybe there's something wrong with these functions, right? So multiplication x, y, and then sum. Gives that. Horizontal plus x, but y is going to be minimum between that. Maximum between that and plus y. I don't see any problems in here. Oh, I know. Yeah, I just remembered. Layout is as much of a widget as anything else. Right, so when you pop out the layout, you need to tell the previous layout its size so it can extend and expand. I completely forgot about this part. Okay, so let's actually do that. Alright. So we pop this thing out. So, and this thing should return the element, right? So it should return the layout. Cool. And then what I need to do, self layout last, which is mutable. And yet again, I probably want to expand on this thing, right? I want to expand on this thing. And what I do, I just push widget, right? Or maybe add widget, and I take the size of that previous layout and just push it there. So, yep. Now let's read it. Layout S. There's several of them. Okay, so and as you can see, it's a little bit scuffed because it actually takes the maximum, right? So this is the biggest line, right? And because of that, this thing becomes shorter. And as you can see, like, yeah, it's kind of weird, but overall it works. I can actually tab between them. I press tab and I actually tab between them. So isn't it cool? I think it's pretty cool. What do you guys think? Yeah. So then you can quit and stuff like that. So so it's a little bit more complicated than it was before, because right, yeah, scuffed org mode, yeah, precisely. Scuffed org mode. So I think now we're gonna actually try to refine this entire stuff and make it look a little bit better. So what did we do in here is we basically implemented 2 panels. Do I have a to-do for the yeah, here we go. So here's 2 panels and I need to create like this thing. All right. Implement the 2-panel UI. There we go. And I'm gonna push that right into the repo. We don't really have a CI, but I feel like we should have it. Right. At least we should test different stuff. Oh yeah, so we also need to test formatting and whatnot. Right, so how do you format? Is it a cargo FMT? I don't remember. I think it's a cargo FMT. Oh yeah, would you look at that? Huh. All right. Okay, so I should periodically actually format everything. 9 apply cargo FMT. Right, and I remember there was also Clippy. Is Clippy still a thing that you're supposed to use in 2021? I know that Rust community moves fast and constantly changes their tooling and stuff like that. Is Clippy still a thing, or am I supposed to use in something else? So I'm gonna just use Clippy. So there's a couple of problems in here, and okay, remove return. Oh, this is actually very interesting. Oh yeah, so I can just do it like that. Manual strip. Strip prefix manually. Okay. Prefix was tested here. Well, yeah. Try to use strip prefix. No. This is precisely what I want to do, actually. So, if it... So, let me see. I'm not sure if strip prefix will tell me that it couldn't strip the prefix. I think strip prefix basically doesn't give me enough information to implement what I want. That's the problem here. So... Alright, so maybe it does. Return the string slice with the prefix removed. If the string starts with the parent prefix, return substring wrapped in some. Unlike trim... Okay, this is actually quite convenient. So, alright, so maybe I'm gonna use this function, strip prefix. And if prefix doesn't exist... perfect. Okay, so maybe that's precisely what we can use in here. So, strip prefix. So this is the to-do prefix. And... maybe I can map this entire stuff. Right, so this thing returns the, like, maybe. And we can map it. And... this is the title, so that means here I need to return status to do and the title. That's what I wanted to return in here. But if it failed... I guess you can go full-on functional programming in here. I can try to do that, or else or something, right? So... or else, yeah, and in that or else, so just accept a function that doesn't do anything special in here. We try to use the same strip prefix. Monads, yeah, basically we're starting to write a very monadic code. This is a very monadic code. Strip prefix, done prefix, right? I have an idea, actually. We could have like something like 2 items in here, right? To-do item, which is essentially line strip prefix to do. Right, and then all of that mapped with title, status to do title. So here's the first item. Then we can have done prefix, done item, right? And this one is going to be something like this, and there's like a little bit of a repetition in here, and essentially I think you can remove this entire thing by doing something like to do item or done item, which is actually quite cool, right? So you try to parse an item, it's either a to do item or done item. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So should work, hopefully. So very functionalish, I would say. Let me rebuild this entire stuff. Okay, it even builds. All right, isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I really like that. So Yeah. So what else do we have here? Clippy, right? Clippy. So this could be just okay. This could be just this. Is cleaner. Okay, is empty. Okay. This looks nice. You know it. I have years of Haskell. I know how to write this code, this kind of code. All right, seems good. So, and then if I try to build this entire thing, seems to be working as well. I really want to run FMT and Clippy on CI. Okay, so it seems to be working. Huh. That's very strange. We have underflow and shit. What the fuck? When did we introduce that? I can't believe that. Apparently we have underflows and overflows, and yeah, they shouldn't happen, especially when we do transfers and stuff, right? So after the transfer we actually check everything and apply everything. Is empty? Maybe. I already lost the place where it was. It's a bit fair. So let's go through all of the places where have is empty. So I think I'm gonna go to this stuff, list transfer. Alright, so let me see. Creepy. Not empty. Okay, I probably forgot not empty. Using not empty is clearer and more explicit. Okay. So, sure. So that should be working now. Wait, what? Okay. Come on, you can do that. Alright, so that seems to be working. So we have two panels and shit. Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty cool. You know, when you ran out of elements on one of the panels, it becomes unclear on what panel you are. Right, so maybe we're gonna actually do the following thing. So we're gonna indicate what panel you're at. So essentially, if tab is currently status to do, we're gonna be rendering this entire thing as to do, right? Otherwise, we're going to be rendering it with spaces. And there we go. So similarly, we're going to do the same thing for done, right? For done in here. So done, and let me see. Yeah, there we go. Oh, holy shit. Okay, so it has to be done here. Yep. So as you can see, yeah, we have a focus in here. So that's actually pretty cool. Look at that. I like that. Huh. Maybe we can make it even cooler if we actually highlight with special color. What about special color instead of like this stuff? It could be something like to do, just a to do, but the condition is going to be like this. If this, we are using the highlight pair, otherwise regular one, and the same goes to here. Done. Yeah, and if you get rid of all of them, you still have highlighting in here, but then you switch and you're in here. I don't know which one is better, to be fair. I'm gonna leave it with this one. I think it's alright. I think it is alright, more or less. Focus system, how about that? Alright, so I'm gonna try to run Clippy one more time. Okay, and FMT one more time. And fix Clippy remarks. I'm gonna push that right into the repo. So the next thing I want to do, I would like to set up CI for the Rust, right? So let's see how we can do that. Maybe I can steal some stuff from my previous Rust projects. Have you ever done coding in Unreal Engine 4? I don't have money to buy Unreal Engine license, I'm sorry. That's why I write all of my engines from scratch. So this one is going to be workflows. Workflows. Okay, and this one is CI YAML. Right. So Rust project, so we also install some shit in here. Okay. I can pretty much copy paste this entire thing, I think. We don't even run tests in here. And let me see. So we also have tests. I don't think we need tests right now. Yeah, passed 0, but also 0 failed. But I'm gonna keep it in there in case we're gonna start like having tests and whatnot. So, and I'm gonna actually copy paste this entire thing in here. Boom. 9. Try to set up CI, and I'm gonna push that right into the repo. And let's create a pull request. Implement the 2-panel UI. To be fair, I would like to also clean up the entire thing, if you know what I mean, because I don't like that the UI jumps around, right? So let me show you. Like we have a longest thing in here, and as you can see, it jumps around, and it's not really great to look, in my opinion. So one of the things we can try to do is actually keep the sizes of the panels consistent, if you know what I mean. And to do that, we need to fixate the size of the single element. So, and the single element right now is basically a label, right? So if I go to main.rs, so this is going to be a label, and this is where we can try to specify the size. So, and I'm thinking, I want to also have an option to basically use whatever the size of the text, right? So we can, yeah, we can try to introduce something like enumeration. Come on, enumeration, label width, right? And because of that, it's going to be text len, all right, or fixed where you provide i32, right? So yeah, essentially you have label width and you can say text length if you don't care, right? If you do care, if you want to fixate it, you say it's precisely that. You can always accept the size and force the user to provide it, but I'm not sure. I have a better idea, by the way. I have a better idea. That doesn't require introducing new types. Let's literally have label fixed size. Right, that way you don't have to have types or anything, and you still have a very convenient label. Right, maybe fixed width. Self text str pair I16, and you also can provide the width, which is I32. What's interesting is that we can move the implementation of this thing in here, right, and implement the label in terms of the label fixed width. Label fixed width. But the width is basically the length of the text, like this. So, all right. So because Rust doesn't have the default arguments, so we have to do this kind of stuff. I really want to have a language, by the way. I really want to have a language that would allow me to do the following thing. Something like, let's reorder these things a little bit. Text and width, and refer back to previous arguments. I want to able to have a language that allows me to do this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I don't know a single language that allows to do these things. That would be super convenient. So, there's probably arguments for not doing that, because then the maybe evaluation of the arguments matters, and because of that you lose pretty cool optimizations and stuff like that. But I mean, computers are fast, so taking notes for Bang. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas in terms of like default arguments in Bang, and also variadic arguments as well. So we're definitely going to have variadic arguments in Bang, and they're going to be actually type safe, statically typed variadics. Okay. So we provide this thing, layout, we take the position, we put it in here. And the width that we're using, we're literally using this width. Have you tried WX widgets? If so, what do you think? I actually have, but that was a long time ago. I tried them when I was in high school, and it was a really long time ago. And my impression about WX is that it's open source MFC. Does anyone remember what the fuck is MFC? Cool. Nobody remember. Yeah. So Microsoft Foundation class library. Does anyone remember this piece of shit? Like, holy fuck. Yeah. So Hertz and okay, you also remember. So my impression on WX widgets was it's basically open source MFC. So that's my impression. But this is what I remember from a long time ago. I haven't tried WX widgets in ages. Maybe they're different now, but at the time, yeah, it's open source MFC. So this makes sense. Right. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm cleaning up shit. Let me see. So I'm gonna do build. Build. Doesn't flipping build as I32. Alright. Okay, and if I try to run this entire thing, okay, so that didn't change anything. That's fine, because we never used that thing. All right. Label fixed width. and the width is gonna be, I think it has to be half of the width of the window. And curses window size. Why is length signed integer? Because the position is also signed integer. So that way, because we're using them in mathematical operations with signed ones, and just makes it overall easier. It's like in games, right? In games, you work with floats, right? And float may also mean a position in something x or y position, right? So x or y. And it also means size, and it includes also x and y position, right? And as you can see, float is signed, and you don't have any opportunity to make it unsigned, and it doesn't even matter since you're using all that in mathematical computations. So it's the same situation, but with integers. You know what I'm talking about? All right. Terminal size. Okay, that's I guess what I need in here. So we're gonna be taking the size of the window on each frame, I suppose. You're welcome. STDS. This signature is incorrect, by the way. It has to accept y and x by pointer, I think. Yeah, what? Excuse me? The fuck? This signature is also incorrect. Who's wrong, who's right? How does it work then? Oh, it's probably a macro. It's probably goddamn macro. Yeah, okay, so yeah. But in Rust it's probably not gonna be a macro, so let mutable x, y, and can I even do it like that? Maybe not. Yeah, let mutable both of these things, and mute. There we go. Yeah, it is extremely confusing. Like, and to be fair, why? What's the point of making it a macro? Like, come on. I mean, I know that people use macros for backward compatibility and like wrap functions and stuff like that, but again, you don't have to make it confusing. Let's just make a macro that accepts a pointer. Like, it's just like, there's literally no reason for making it confusing like that. There's literally no reason. Okay. This function takes 2 arguments. Alright, so yeah, now I need half of the width, and essentially width. Alright. So is it gonna work? Local variable. Oh, okay, so it has to be x then. Fixed width. Alright. So this is a fixed width and this is a fixed width, and we're using precisely half of the width of the window. That's what we're doing in here. Alright, so now if you take a look at this stuff, now everything's fixed, and furthermore, it actually resizes properly. Right, so now it looks way better than it was before. Right. Oh shit, okay. So I suppose we need to use fixed width on to do and done as well. Yeah, we need to do that. Label fixed width, and it has to be x2. Done. Fixed width x divided by 2. So this label is never used, apparently. Let's actually allow that code. This. All right, so okay, so now it works all right. Cool. Oh my god, this looks way better. And feels also way better. Nice. And I also like the simplicity of the entire thing. Right, excluding the third-party dependencies, which is only one, and curses, the entire thing is 350 lines of code. Right, so, and we're not using anything on top of incurses, everything is our own thing. I'm using incurses. I think I already mentioned that. I'm using incurses and that's it. Okay, cool. So do we need to update the README for this kind of thing? Switch between panels, perform the action on the UI on the highlighted. Hamikovi, what's up? What's up? How you doing? Very glad to see you. Hello. Cheers. All right. Looks good to me. And I think we don't have tabs anymore. I think we need to rename them to panels. Right, so panel is going to be that. Maybe I can also query replace tab with panel and tap. There we go. It just says so I'm chilling. Okay. Let's chill together. Surprisingly this didn't work properly, but yeah. Panel. It's kind of strange that it didn't fully replace everything, but okay. So, what did we do here? Fix the size of the panels, right? So, and update README documentation, right? And let's do the usual thing, FMT. Okay. 9 fix FMT remarks, and let's listen to the Clippy remarks. How about some Clippy remarks? No Clippy remarks. Everything is perfect. Would you look at that? And the most important thing. Look, chat. Look. Where's my thing? Not a single unsafe keyword in the entire file. So yeah, it is absolutely safe. You can use it on your computer and no harm will be done. Trust me. It is absolutely safe. Compiler not complaining, you know it. If it compiles, chat, tell him. Tell the new people in the chat. Tell them. If it compiles, it works. Alright, so we're waiting for continuous integration. Alright. What's gonna be the next thing? Reorder items. This one sounds actually very interesting. Reorder items. I really want to be able to just go here and really just change the order, like move the current element up or down. And I think you can do that by, yeah, holding shift. Yeah. Does incursus work on Windows? There is a special thing for incursus, I think, but you can try to run it in WSL. Right, so we have a confirmation that this application works on Windows under WSL. And let's be honest, There's no point in supporting Windows in 2021 anyway, because Windows is slowly moving towards just yet another Linux distro anyway. So just write your applications for Linux. It's gonna work eventually on Windows as Microsoft ditches this entire project into oblivion, and we're only gonna have Linux on the desktop. You know what I'm talking about? So don't even worry about that. So Linux is already shipped with the Linux kernel. It's already technically a Linux distro. It just requires a little bit more steps to become a proper Linux distro. So come on, like why bother? Why bother? Cheers, by the way. Finally, the year of Linux on desktop. So, alrighty. I guess everything's fine. Okay, so we're ready to merge this kind of stuff. Year of Plan 9 desktop when? I don't know. I still want to try Plan 9. Still haven't tried it. Sounds like a pretty cool meme. Pretty cool meme. So let's implement reorder elements. To be fair, before we reorder elements, I would like to make a cup of tea and make a... God damn it! My god! RDB 42. Thank you so much for 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you, and welcome everyone to our epic Rust Club. So, okay, and on that positive note, I'm gonna go and make a break. Thank you everyone for money. I gotta go. I gotta go. Thank you so much. So, yep, let's do. All right, let's continue. So, what we want to be able to do? We want to be able to reorder all of these elements, right? So, how I want to do that? I want to be able to do that by holding Shift. Let me see. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually append the keys to my to-do list, just to log them. Alright, so this is actually a pretty cool idea. Look, it doesn't work. But here's the thing, if I press other things, they get appended in here, right? I suppose that means that they're going to be actually saved automatically in a to-do in here. Yeah, they're actually automatically saved. Okay, that's fine. All right, and now if I try to press Shift S, oh, that is actually very interesting. So I suppose it is literally equal to capitalized S and W. I think we can actually do something about that. I think we can. So let's give it a try. It's gonna be W and actually big W. Match panel. Right. So maybe we'll need to introduce a special function that basically that lets you drag elements around. If the status is to do list drag up, and I suppose we'll have to provide mutable the list, right, and also mutable cursor, right, so because that will modify both the list and the cursor, right, and in case of done, we'll have to do done's done current. Okay, so let's do list drag up, and let's find where we can put the implementation. Okay, it's gonna be this list mutable slice. I wonder if mutable slice is gonna be actually enough. Right, mutable slice. Because dragging things around is not going to remove or extend. So it's basically gonna only swap the elements. And I wonder if a slice has a method for swapping elements. Okay, so it's gonna be Rust std docs or something. So let me see. So slice. Do you have anything for swap? Ah, it's a module slice. God damn it. primitive. I only care about the primitive. So if it has swap, it should start with S. There we go. Perfect. So I can just provide two indices and it will swap elements inside the slice. And slice has to be mutable. That's precisely what I want. So and in here we have a list current, and it's going to be just size. Drag up. Essentially, if list current is greater than 0, only then we can try to do that. So, and that essentially means list swap list current with list current -1, and then list current itself becomes less by 1. So that's basically what we do to drag an element up. So let's see if this entire thing compiles. Well, this is not how we compile, so let's actually do build. But it's still not going to help us anyway. So we have to do something like this. Come on. And let's see. Now look, I'm going to press Shift W. And I can move it around. So I can now go here. And I can drag it up. So, and I need to now implement the same thing for dragging down. Right, so let's quickly implement it. Fn list drag down is gonna accept the mutable slice. List current and mutable usize. And essentially, we're only gonna do that if the list index is maybe even +1 is less than list length. Right. So you have two options, by the way. You can either check index +1 less than len, or the index less than -1. Who knows why -1 is not preferable in this particular situation? Because it's usize. And usize is unsigned, so if it's equal to 0, it's gonna underflow. So this one is never underflows, but it can overflow theoretically, but in that case usize has to be extremely big. So the likelihood of this overflowing is actually less than the likelihood of this underflowing, because this underflowing is literally like the usual case, right? So yeah. So this can also have problems, but this one less likely to cause any problems. So the only way for a user to hit this case is to actually append shed ton of elements that will overflow usize, and to overflow usize. So usize is 64 bits, so and the amount of like the number that it can hold is literally this, right? So the user have to include this amount of elements. Would it compile? It would. Minus would compile as far as that. Maybe in Rust it won't compile, but I remember in Rust having problems because it actually compiled. It actually compiled fine. But it will fail at runtime. It will fail at runtime. Alright, so and in here, what we're doing, we do list swap, list current +1. And yeah, this just has to be list current +1 as well. I don't know, just brain farted for a second. And in here we're going to be doing a very similar thing. So we're waiting for as match panel. Status to Doom list drag down to do's to do current. Done's done. There we go. Alright, so that means that now I can do the following thing. I can just drag it around. What's interesting is that it works on both of these elements, right? So, yep. Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty cool. Actually, I also want to be able to move to the end and the beginning of the list. So where is my to-dos? Jump to the end and beginning of the lists, right? So that's another thing that we want to be able to do, and yeah, so let's bring it back, and now I can just move all of that in here, right? And eventually we should be able to delete those elements. I think deleting the elements should be only allowed in done, right? First you need to move it to done, and then you'll be able to delete it. Yeah. Another cool thing is that the list remembers its index, as you can see, right? So I can move around in here, and then it remembers it. So, yep, it's pretty cool. Also, I think I'm gonna remove this stuff. Alrighty, so I might as well remove this stuff. Wait, am I still in that branch? I think I am still in that branch, so I actually have to fetch the latest stuff. So let's go to the main, and there we go. Origin master. It's not really master, it's main. So it's kind of interesting. I think I created a project with cargo init, and cargo init automatically initializes the git repo for you, and I think by default it uses main. Alright. Which is cool. No. So we're gonna do something like 8. Alright, so it's gonna be 8. Let's do that. Implement dragging elements around. Alright. And in here, we need to also document that. So I might as well actually copy paste this thing and just say something like shift plus W and shift plus S. Drag the current item up and down, right? Alright, so seems to be building. Document dragging elements around, and let's push that right into the repo. Okay, so I think we need to update the thumbnail here as well, because now our application looks completely differently, right? So this is how it looks like. I wish I could actually make it a little bit more concise. Yep. So I'm just thinking it would be probably better to actually detach, right? Because I don't want to like show the TMUX thingy. It's kind of unnecessary in my opinion. And then I'm gonna go to here and cargo run to do, and that's a little bit better. So it's gonna be something like this. Okay, so let's grab the new thumbnail. Let's grab the new thumbnail Here it is. It's kind of sus, not gonna lie, but maybe it's alright. You know, there's too much space in here, so I might as well actually just crop it a little bit. Let's quickly crop it. Using Krita. It's gonna take some time. 3.0 Gbated PNG. Yes, I do have a lot of shit in here. You wanna know what it is? It's Gbated. Literally. You got Gbated. You got Gbated. Gbated. And you just got Gbated. And you just got Gbated. Can I do something like this? Oh shit. It kind of worked, but not really. Oh shit. So here's pixels, and can I just set the pixels in here? Nah, too much work. I'm gonna just save it like this. Okay, so let me go in here and so here is that. There we go. It's a second one. Okay, so first I need to remove the previous one. And all right, that should look a little bit better. Hopefully it will take the whole space in here, and will look nice. That's at least what I'm hoping for. Update the thumbnail. And let's push that right at the repo. It's not going to be visible right away, so. So let's do FMT. Okay. Fix FMT remarks. What about Clippy? I don't think Clippy should complain too much because I don't remember doing anything super weird. Yeah, it's totally fine. Now let's see what we have. So where is the... yeah, I need to refresh this thing. And I want to just view the file. View file. So this is how it's gonna look like. Yeah, looks alright. Looks alright. So we need to wait until the continuous regression is done. Continuous degradation. Yes. Who needs continuous integration when you have continuous degradation? Cheers, by the way. For continuous degradation. Apparently I am streaming for 2 hours already. So yeah, I think it is time for me to go, boys and girls. It is time for me to go. So thanks everyone who's watching me right now. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, and I see you all next time. I don't know when, I don't know how, but maybe I'll see you around next time. Check the description for all of the links and stuff like that. And yeah, that's it. I just gotta go. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for all of the subs. Love you all.